Hi everyone. Today is just a quick video about what we talked about in class. I just want to go over the expectation for the assignment and also give you an example of what this should look like. So again, in this lesson, you're going to continue to plan and create your app. The design that you sketched out was the prototype from earlier this week. And what we're going to do is basically create that in code.org. So if you haven't yet, you're going to open up code.org, sign into your account, find Unit 3, Lesson 4, Bubble 3. You can also click on this and it will have you log in. For today's assignment, you're going to have these 5 items that you need to include. So you're going to create 3 screens for your app, add descriptive IDs to each of the screens, and then you'll also add a title label and 2 buttons on each of the screens. Each of those buttons should take you to the 2 other screens. So if you're on the home screen, it's going to take you to the 2 other screens that exist. If you're on one of the other screens, it's going to take you to the home screen and the other screen, etc. You're going to add descriptive IDs to each of those title labels and buttons that you create on all the screens. And then lastly, you're going to add any additional color themes, extra text, or images if you'd like. Note, you're not submitting anything here on Canvas. I'm going to grade your work based on what you do on code.org for this assignment. The assignment is due at 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, the 14th. If you're having trouble figuring this out, please follow along with this video. And the rubric is also listed here based on the 5 criteria and how much you accomplish each of those. So again, when you get to code.org, you're going to find Unit 3. When you go to Unit 3, you're going to be looking for lesson number 4. And then we're going to go to Bubble 3, where it says Build Your Screens. We're not programming anything yet. We're just working on the design feature. What I want to suggest is that the instructions, you can close those, and you just have your design toolbox and your workspace open. Remember, this should be saved from whatever you've done before. You can always check your version history if you wanted to find an old version of this. So you can see you have a main screen. If you've already created your main screen in class today, that will show up. Remember that your descriptive ID is what shows up here, right? So that's what the computer reads the screen as. I like to use camel case, which means it's all lowercase except for any words that are new in the middle. So main screen, the capital would be the S so that I can tell the difference. You can't put spaces in this ID, so that's why I capitalized that second word. To get you're going to have different elements on your screen. So you're going to have a label, that's this. You click on it and drag it over to the side. You can put text in there. So the text that shows up is in the text box. The ID, again, is a descriptive label. So you always want to give it something that you're going to be able to recognize, and then the text can be whatever you want. If you put something on there that you don't want, you can always click on it and click delete, or you can click and drag it back over to the toolbox. Then you're going to have 2 buttons on every screen. The buttons you're going to click and drag to get over there. Same thing. You're going to decide what the descriptive ID is. You can also modify the size. You can change the font by opening or closing it here. For each screen, you're going to be labeling where the different screens are going to. So this main screen has 2 other screens that it can go to, the types of flowers and also where to buy. I'm going to do the exact same thing on my other 2 screens. So I have another screen that says types of flowers. Again, this is just a label that I brought over. I have a picture, which I'll show you how to do in a second. And then I have my 2 buttons at the bottom. One button goes back to my home screen. The other one goes to my where to buy. All right. And my where to buy screen is here. I have where to buy flowers. That's a label at the top. Then I have 2 buttons, one to go home and one to go to the types of flowers. All right. So it's a very simple design for your app. If you accidentally add an extra screen, you're like, oh, I don't want to use this. You can just click on it and then click delete, and it'll lose that screen. So it'll just show up what you have here. When you want to add a picture, you click the image button and drag it over. And then when you click on the image, remember you can add a descriptive ID here, and then you can choose how you get an image in. You can upload a file. So if you find something that you like on the internet, you could download and save it. You could also link to the image. If you don't have it downloaded, you can find the link to an image on the web. If you're not sure how to do that, you can use this example. And you can also use icons, which are listed here. If you have a certain thing, you could also search for it if you're looking for something specific. Again, anything that you don't want, you drag back over here to the toolbox. You won't be using these other things. Text area you might use if you want more text than just a label. So for example, on my buy screen, you see a bigger text area. And again, I can drag that, can make it big or small. If I make it small, it has a little kind of scroll bar. If I make it big, it loses the scroll bar. Okay, so those are the basic features. If you want to change colors and things like that, I suggest using the themes, but you could uniquely change each button and every background. I would keep the theme consistent for all 3 screens because on any app you're using, it just makes it a lot cleaner and easier to look at. Okay? And when you are done, you don't need to submit. Again, I'm going to be grading it based on what you complete on code.org by Saturday night.